Hello viewers, welcome to just as we head into spectate mode. We are in free practice right now. It'll be interesting to see who reigns supreme at the Spanish Grand Prix circuit. Of course, we are following with the no chicane layout, as chicane's been taken out by the Formula One as well. As we scroll through the different contenders today, we have quite a few of those in the pits. Still waiting for a fair few to join today, as we look at the big rig going through. Interesting fact that I learned about the Catalunya circuit today. Turn 1 is called Elf, with the next long right-hander being called Renault. I'm going to be muting the stream a little today. I am suffering from some cough and cold and flu-like symptoms. So continuing on with the naming of the turns. Turn 2, which is the pretty much U-turn, the long U-turn, is called Repsol, and the sharp left-hander is turn 3, which is called Seat, followed by Worth, which is turn number 4, and the turn number 5 is called Kamsa, which leads on to the long back straight. Interestingly, the old circuit had another turn in the back long straight, which was called Nissan, which is now been taken out, and it's now called turn 7, which is La Caiza, and the long right-hander again is called Pont de Sabadell. So there's some interesting facts about the Catalunya circuit, as we see Tyler coming out of the pits, with the rest of the contenders still in the pits. after looking at the cars in the Tokyo night race, the day race at Catalunya, let's just look at the liveries a little bit more in detail. Although the practice session seems to be happening at midday, whereas the race session is going to be set to early morning. There are 2 mandatory compounds for this race today instead of the usual 1 or 3. And from memory, it is hards and softs. Although I will get confirmation of that when we have a few more contenders join. Little rigs on the track, and we have a new entry today called Isaac Fogg, who's just crashed into Little Rig by the looks of it. I'm sure he's not going to be happy about it. Anthony and Bluey are still in the pits, and Big Rig is also in the pits. That's a good choice by Isaac Fogg in the almost Nardo Grey or Nardo Silver Audi. As we see, nobody else is still on the. So we have 3 racers in the pits and 3 on the track. Tyler, Isaac, and Little Rig. Let's quickly have a look at the chat. Nobody in there. It's just going to be 6 people today. It's going to be a pretty interesting race because it's not a easy circuit. There's a lot of off-camber corners in this circuit. This used to be traditionally where all the Formula 1 cars did their pre-season testing to validate that they had the car to win the championship or come wherever they needed to be. Interestingly, that's switched over to Bahrain over the last few years. Still quite like the old circuits. Spa being a favorite of mine, Nürburgring. We did speak about it last week. As we see Dave GT, we quickly look at the nicknames. Okay, we do have a few more contenders joining. I will leave you with the in-car view of the AMG. Representing the Haupt racing team by the looks of it. It's a beautiful in-car view of the driver looking at the car as it passes through. will leave you viewers with the in-car view from Anthony while I go grab a drink. I will be back soon. Hello viewers, like the Terminator in 1984, I am back, this time with a cup of tea, to watch the race and to commentate. I think we've had enough of Anthony's inside view with quali starting soon. So let's look at the contenders. We have Big Rig in the Genesis GR3, Mr. Balak, I'm assuming, in the Audi R8, Anthony again in the Genesis GR3, Bluey in the beloved Porsche. The only BMW is being run by Tyler. Dave 34 in the AMG. Mr. J. Gross, I'm assuming, he's in the McLaren. And Isaac Fogg, who was in the Audi, is now repping AMG. So we have 9 people so far. We usually have a lobby of about 10 to 12 easy. I know that there are a couple of absentees, Snoopy being one, and my teammate from Shadow Team Racing, Bowers, being the other. It's Bowers' birthday today, so happy birthday to him whenever he watches this. Hopefully he's having fun going out, probably having a couple of drinks and enjoying his day out. We're yet to see Manimal join as well. I'm assuming that's Dave GT. So we do have 9 now, with all of the contenders ready to go. It's going to be quali time soon, so while we wait for quali to kick off, I will let the users Manimal is unfortunately stuck in Queensland and won't be participating in the race today, which is a pity because he is a very good racer with really good lines. Okay, we do have the driver briefing. So the race is going to consist of obviously a one-shot qualification based on an out lap and one hot lap. Following that, we'll have a race with 26 laps, custom weather settings, early morning with a time speed rate of 2x. We've got rolling start with mandatory tire changes of soft and hard, so it is going to be at least a 1-stopper, if not 2. Going by the development series in which I race, the most popular options seem to be a 2-stopper, starting on hards and quickly switching over to softs and then softs again. It will be interesting to see the kind of pace that the Pro series comes up with, and if anyone chooses to go with a 1-stopper. I need a sort of a cheat sheet to sort of make myself sound more professional with turn names and driver names and car names and everything else coming through. But it doesn't matter. I'm doing this for a bit of fun and to sort of provide a running commentary to the Pro Series. We do usually have someone do a commentary for the development series as well. Usually it's Anthony and Snoopy, and they do go on to both of them do commentate on a single race or a single lobby. I haven't figured out how to get that set up yet. My streaming setup is kind of different. I'm not directly streaming from the PS5. I'm streaming through my MacBook, running it via OBS software and setting up the streaming onto YouTube. So I'm still quite new to this game of streaming. So I'm yet to figure out a way to get guest commentators coming onto the stream. Once I figure that out, I will have guest commentators, hopefully from the development series, join me. There are a couple who are quite keen. Viva did express an interest in coming in and giving it a shot, and so did a couple of others. So yeah, let's look at that. More on the driver briefing today. The tire wear is going to be set at 3 times, and the fuel consumption is also going to set at 3 times. The refueling speed is 9 liters per second. So very similar to what the development series was, except that we didn't have a mandatory tire of softs. So yeah, and the equal conditions are also off for the Pro Series. We usually run that on in the development series because there are 2 lobbies and the results of the 2 lobbies are combined to see who is the ultimate winner. And in yesterday's race, it was Senes who finished with a time of 45 minutes and 5 seconds, and then it was Speed Racer, DC and Tex. Tex won Lobby A with a time of 45 minutes and 18. I was in P4 with 45:29. As we see a couple of them on the outlap, having a quick practice before quali starts. We have a couple of AMGs, although we are missing the AMG of my teammate Bowers 401, 4 zeros and 1, sorry. And Manuel just did let me know that the damage is also set to heavy in the Pro Series. I believe the damage should be set to heavy in the Dev Series as well. It will stop people from crashing and ruining someone else's race and their race. I did notice in the corner of my eye someone going off in lap 1 in the Dev race yesterday. But the pros are usually a lot more considerate of the others, and most of these lads have been racing for about 2 seasons, as we are in season 3. I started in this league late in season 2. As we hear that beautiful AMG engine coming through, and it's time for quali, guys. It'll be interesting to see what we end up with. The reason I usually don't tick into the room is so that if the stream does drop out for any reason, it doesn't cause any issues to the racers, and needless notifications always are distracting. And for people who aren't on Discord and who are viewing this stream for the first time, there is a link for our Discord channel, Discord server in the description. We're always looking for more people to join us. We're racing 2 lobbies in development series, as I said before, and we have 1 pro series. So yeah, everybody welcome to join. As we see the driver briefing going on, assuming that the quali is going to be on very soon. One of the recommendations that I got from a lot of my league mates was I did focus a bit too much on Smithy and Tyler's battle last time around. I will make a conscious effort to cover all the racers more evenly. I did focus on trying figuring out what was more looking at what was going to be useful, what was entertaining for me, I guess. Having said that, this is only my second time commentating a race. So let's hope that I do better. As we see the lobby being reset for quali, and yeah, when it's up. As you can probably hear my lovely wife telling my dog to go drink some water. Okay, quali is on, guys. Okay, as you see, Anthony followed by Big Rig, Little Rig, Isaac's on. It's his first race, so hopefully he does well. Followed by Bluey and Kaizen are still in the pits. As we see, I think Bluey just heading out the pits. Tyler still in the pits. David still in the pits. Hello, Zeus. Zeus is my beautiful German Shepherd. As we see, let's follow a few of these guys here. As we see Isaac in the orange AMG. I do have a cheat sheet of all the turn names here for me to have a look. As I will keep an eye on the stream and the live chat as well. As we see Anthony heading to La Caixa, getting on to Europa and on to New Holland. We don't have the chicane for this race, as Anthony starts his flying lap. Big Rig is a few seconds behind him. Let's follow Anthony for a little bit. Pretty much all the racers are out on their out lap or on the hot lap. As we see Big Rig in turn 1, turn 2, now is the Renault corner, followed by Little Rig or Fui. And then it's Isaac, followed by Bluey, and then Joe Van Dam. David, who's just started his lap. Martin Kipso is coming around the lap again, and Tyler. Let's head on to Anthony for a bit. He's in Bank Sabadell corner, coming up to RSCC in New Holland. So the time to beat is 1 minute 40.1 by Anthony. Let's follow Big Rig. Big Rig appears to be pretty much on the money there. He goes with 40.5 to P2. So provisional pole is still by Anthony. Let's head on to Fui, who is 40.9, Fog Dog 41.7. Louis is in P4. Joe Van Dam 41.2. David David's going to be in the top 5. P2, that's a very good time by David. The only one is Martin Kipso, followed by Tyler. Martin Kipso .1 again. The last one is so Tyler goes P1. So P1, 2 and 3 are Kaizen with a 39.7, Martin Kipso with a 40 dot something, and Anthony with 40.1. Not a lot between Anthony and I will switch over to the nicknames instead of online IDs. So the top 3 are Tyler, Landell, Cruz, Anthony, followed by Dave GT, Big Rig, Little Rig, Bluey in P7, followed by Joe Van Dam in P8, Isaac Fogg in P9. So that's the grid, guys. So fastest lap on Catalunya Circuit for F1 is currently held by Mr. Verstappen. That's the race lap with a time of 1 minute 18.1. But the fastest quali lap is by the GOAT Lewis Hamilton, which was set with 1 minute 16.7 in 2021. So let's wait for the race start. We usually have a timeout of about 2.5 minutes or so before we start the race. I will give my throat a little bit of a rest while that's going on. Indeed, a great lap by Tyler. So results, we have Tyler, Mr. Cruz, Anthony, Dave GT, Big Rig, Little Rig, Bluey, Joe Van Dam and Isaac Fogg. So we won't tick in as per usual when the race lobby is set up. We will, however, aim to catch the race start, do a little bit better than last time. I did miss the start of the race in Japan. I was trying to figure out how to get in. So I do have a couple of viewers. Snoopy, who's I think in the middle of rebuilding his rig. out for today, and Manimal, who's stuck in Queensland as well. Unfortunately can't do it, can't make it to the race. I guess this is the only time I'll ever be in the Pro Series, with my driver rating being in there. As we run through P1, great lap by Tyler, followed by Mr. Cruz, then Anthony, followed by Dave GT in the Mercedes, Big Rig and Little Rig in the Genesis, Bluey in P7, Joe Van Dam in P8, Isaac Fogg in P9. As we look at the race start. Good start for everybody. Anthony having a look in. Anthony late on the brakes and gets P2. Oh no, P2 is being taken back again by Mr. Cruz. Closely followed by Anthony. Closely followed by Dave GT, who's made up a few positions. Big Rig P4, Little Rig P6. As we see Tyler slowly inching away from Mr. Cruz. Again, we don't know what the strategy is by the guys, so let's keep a quick eye on what they've started with once they finish lap 1. As Bluey is up to P4, closely followed by someone's on the grass there, touched the grass. Joe Van Dam makes up a place as Big Rig goes to P8 and Isaac Fogg in P9. Tyler's slowly building a gap, and so is Mr. Cruz. As we see Anthony tentatively going through Bank Sabadell, going into the old Chicane from RCC, going on to New Holland. As we see Anthony jumping into pits for what looks like a two-stopper. And everybody else is... oh, we've got Dave GT coming in. Oh, hits the barrier. Oh no. That's gonna cost him. As we see Lanzel in the cockpit view. Still followed by Cruz. Now that we've seen the race start, let's look at the info. Okay, Anthony was on hards, he's moved on to softs. Lanzel and Tyler both started on softs. Bluey started on softs, and so did Little Rig, Big Rig. Joe Van Dam, interestingly, going through to lap 2 with hards on. And same with Isaac Fogg. I'm assuming they're going in for a one-stopper. As Anthony and Dave GT, who's got the dreaded 3-second penalty as he hit the barrier on racing softs. So let's keep an eye on these guys as we follow Tyler and Cruz. We've built up, interestingly, about a 3-second lead over the others in the space of 2 laps. Lewis got a penalty. This track is going to be littered with penalties as the track limits are quite harsh on this. As we see the fastest lap by Tyler at 40.5. Little Rig in close pursuit of Bluey, followed by Big Rig and Isaac Fogg. They've split out quite a bit. With that, let's go and turn the race info off, or maybe just look at the race info only. As we follow Little Rig for a while, personal best sector 1 for Little Rig as he enters Renault into Repsol. Down to seat as Bluey does some lawn mowing there, slightly. Interestingly, there's about a second gap between Bluey and Little Rig, and about 2.5 seconds between Little Rig and Big Rig. As Bluey serves the penalty, we will see Little Rig hopefully try and go for a pass. Bluey covers it well on the inside. Is there a chance of a switchback? No. Bluey does well to sort of keep Little Rig at bay. As we see the lead now between Bluey and Mr. Cross, about 4 seconds. So Tyler and Cross are still the lead pack. As Little Rig picks up penalty, Big Rig does a 41.8, and Isaac Fogg, who's getting his first race in with the Apex Point League, is in P6. Joe Van Dam trying to catch him up, and it'll be interesting to see how these two fare with the racing hearts. It's a very nice livery by Joe Van Dam. And that R8 does have a beautiful soundtrack to it as well. If we look at Anthony, who's slowly chipping away, set a fastest lap of the race so far, last lap, has a little twitch as he comes into seat. Onto the little turn 6, now onto turn 7 Worth, as he cuts the chicane, cuts the curb, gets onto Kamsa, onto the back straight. Let's go for a closer view. Dropped a little time there. I'm sure it's not easy to keep this on track. As he's slowly getting away, as Isaac Fogg jumps into the pits after 4 laps. Interesting choice of time by Isaac to jump into the pits. As Anthony picks up position. Very good lap by Dave GT, a 40.006. Probably would have preferred 007, although he's in a Mercedes, not an Aston Martin, so probably it doesn't matter. So as we see Tyler, who's now built up a 1.2 second lead over Mr. Cruz, who's consistently doing 40 dot something after his first lap. Matched by our own resident Belgian in the league. As it sets up purple sector 1. cuts the lead down to just under a second. The lead pair have built up quite a formidable 9-second lead over Bluey, who is just in front of Little Rig, who's just in front of Big Rig. So a good little battle here for P3. Looking at the battle from Big Rig's perspective, which will give us a good indication of where things are at as we switch through the cams to go to the follow mode. Easy way to drive the car in the circuit. Cut the curbs on, make sure you don't go too much over the curb, and pick up a penalty as we see Little Rig slowly creeping away from Big Rig, and Bluey is again slowly creeping away from Little Rig. It's built up a little bit of a buffer, just over half a second to 3/4 of a second. A little bit of a wiggle there by Bluey. As he tries to get that portion of control. I personally found Porsche to be really good at the circuit. Won a couple of daily races. As Little Rig is putting pressure on Bluey, almost a contact there. We should see some good speed here by Little Rig. Hopefully gets a good run. Well covered by Bluey on the inside. One of the things that happens in racing so often is we're trying to catch the car in front before they got the car behind. As we see Big Rig right on the tail of Little Rig. As he was too busy trying to get on, you can see Big Rig get a nice exit, gets P4 as Little Rig tries to get some draft. Big Rig's got the inside covered. Little Rig had to brake to stop running into the car in front. That's a bit close there with track limits. Oh, yeah, he did cut the corner there and takes a penalty of 1.5 seconds. That's too bad. He was doing so well, putting pressure on Bluey. We see Anthony now, who's still in P6. It'll be interesting to see how he ends the race. He's got a second between him and Joe and Dan. As we see the Audi. That's the beauty of using something like an OBS studio, as you just heard. I'd slightly turned the volume up on the engine noise of the Audi to hear that glorious note. As we see Isaac Fogg running his own race, followed by Dave GT after they did pit. couple of little battles going on between Bluey Little Rig, who's now been joined by Anthony. Now, Anthony is still about 14 seconds behind. Sorry for that. As we see Anthony building up a lead of about 3 seconds over Joe Van Dam. Let's switch into Little Rig for a moment. As we see Big Rig about a second and a half behind Blue. But it's got a 3-second advantage over Little Rig. No wonder for that 1.5 second penalty. As we see Tyler and Crows still battling away. As we are joined by Viva in the live stream, he does make a good point that the penalties here are ruthless. Track limits are far too small, although well documented here. With 10 laps in, I'm assuming the softs are starting to give away a little now. So we will see the lead back in the next 2 to 3 laps. That's going to be a penalty for Mr. Kraus as he does go over the track limits. And again, maybe not. It's interesting because I certainly thought the track limits were on the inside line of that, as Tyler defends his inside line really well and moves inside very quickly to cover off the inside again. As we do see that the lead pack are still closer than ever, as a bit late on the brakes there by Cross as Tyler defends the inside line. Tyler with his elbows out defending his position. It's a big old move by Tyler there. It's a good lead here. Just kept within the limits by Crows there, as he sees to grab a great line there, great little battle between the two here. After La Cazia, we will head back to the other pair, other battling drivers, as we see Tyler still defending. He's making his car an extra wide load here. I'm sure BMW doesn't need to be any wider than it already is. That said, let's head on over to see where Bluey is. Bluey is still running P3 as it jumps into pits here. Carefully goes in. Still got a fair bit of fuel, so interesting time to come in. As I would have thought that he would probably go a couple more races, a couple more laps on those. As we see Anthony again out of the position P5, about 9 seconds behind Little Rig, who is 4 seconds behind Big Rig, who is now in P3. But there is a gap between Big Rig and the top two, as we see Bluey switching to hards. That's an interesting choice of tire. I did try it out during practice, running the hards for a couple of laps while the fuel load was not so high. I should say that I am not as fast as Bluey is. As Bluey is putting Joe Van Dam under pressure. As it looks low on the inside. Now can't make it straight. Oh, as Alan positions his car beautifully, but Bluey's got the inside line here. I'm sure he's gonna push advantage on that. It's a little wiggle through that corner as we go through Kamsa. Oh, Balak's gonna probably get a penalty there. That's either very good defending or defending too much there by Joe Van Dam. As we see Tyler in pits. Okay, Tyler goes on to hards, and through goes Anthony, taking P2. So it's got 2.5, almost 3 seconds between him and Tyler. As our second favorite Belgian. Although I don't know if Kim Kleisters is a favorite anymore. Builds up a lead of about 27 seconds. Just enough to cover the pit for the first iteration. As we see Tyler about 3 seconds behind Anthony, who's got a further 14-second gap. It will be very interesting to see how this does pan out indeed. A couple of different strategies. Anthony going in lap 1. I think the only two who've gone in quite late are Isaac and Dave, and hopefully the idea probably is that they want to try and maximize their soft life of the tire. As we see, they're about a minute behind, so probably won't be able to cover the pit stop. They would probably finish in the same positions. As we see Little Rig, I'm not sure if he did pick up a outlap. He's switched on to hards as Bluey goes into the pits and Anthony goes into pits. Okay, someone spun there. I think it's Isaac Fogg. Oh, it's still in the gravel. Oh no, that's not too good. As we see Dave, Bluey and Anthony in the pits. Surely Bluey is gonna take the softs. Anthony picks up a penalty of 1 second. Not sure where. As rightly thought, Bluey picks up a set of softs. And Little Rig is in P5. Big Rig now battling Mr. Joe Van Dam. It'll be interesting to see what happened with Isaac Fogg. Must have had a spin coming in. As we see Bluey in his outlap with a fresh set of softs that he will run through to the end. And Dave GT he's got very good pace, but I think needs to be a little bit more consistent. And I think his strategy let him down today after choosing to run on hards for about 4 laps. As we see Tyler jump into the pits. And Anthony picks up the place and goes in front of Tyler on what might be his last set of tires. And I'm sure Anthony's going to see these tires through to the end of the race with Little Rig. Only one stop in, so Little Rig has one more stop to go. Joe Van Dam started on hards, if I'm not wrong, so he would be hoping to come in soon now and pick up a new set of softs. As we see, Jake Kraus has built up a lead of about 49 seconds. In the pits. It'll be interesting because that's his first time in the pits for this race. As we see, Big Rig about 4 seconds ahead of Joe Van Dam, who's built up about 3 seconds between him and Little Rig. As I am sure he will be hoping to get into the pits now. As we see him going through to the pits, pick up a set of softs, 26 seconds or roughly about 40 seconds or so. As we see Anthony pick up yet another position and end up in P4. That was a good lap there by Anthony, even though it's in red, 40.1. You don't have to have the fastest lap to win the race, but have to be a lot more consistent, which Anthony is. If you see his lap times on the right hand side of the dash, as he sets a personal best in first sector. Little Rig quietly running his own race. He's in P3. He's got one set of softs gone through. I do apologize, viewers. I do have a little bit of a sore throat, so my voice does go a little loud. See Mr. Kraus getting rid of the hards and getting onto some softs, as Big Rig is in P1 with a penalty of 1 second, but he's got a good buffer back to Little Rig of 1 second. Isaac Fogg jumps into the pits as well. I think that spin of Isaac Fogg must cost him a lot of positions, as he would definitely be in the bottom 3. As we follow the current leader, Big Rig, who is going to slow down a little. He's built up a nice little buffer back to P2. However, he will still need another stop unless he intends to see these parts through the race end. after his second pit stop. J. Kraus. I do have to ask him how to spell his name when I speak to him. I hate saying people's name wrong, especially when I have to say it multiple times. He does join in P4, so he will aim to finish on the podium, because we know that Big Rig and Little Rig still have to go and put one more change of tires onto their cars, unless they want to finish the race on the hards, which is quite possible. We did have one of the development series racers finish the race on hards. So just to get that little tidbit of an info, let's see all the info and see what tires everybody's running and where they're at. So Big Rig is on racing softs. He started on softs and he's got soft, so he will have to do one more stop to pick up a set of hards, and same with Little Rig as well. Anthony, who got rid of his hards pretty early on, is safe and now aiming to finish up on the podium. Quickly followed by Mr. Kraus, who has switched between softs to hards to now softs. 5 seconds, the buffer between Anthony and Kraus, who's 1 second ahead of Tyler, who also has completed all the required tire changes. So it looks like it's going to be Anthony, Kraus and Tyler battling for the podium places, and we can never discount Louis. We do want to see Louis pull a rabbit out of the hat. It's a little bit of a spin, a little bit of a hesitation there from the Porsche. As Dave GT is about 4 seconds behind Louis, but has a 6 second gap. He's running on softs. Same with Joe and Dan, who's got 11 second lead over Isaac on softs again. And Isaac is about 11 seconds behind Joe and Dan. Let's head back onto Big Rig. It's built a nice little gap over Little Rig, but Anthony is behind Little Rig with a gap of about 3 seconds and 4 seconds between Anthony and Mr. Kraus, and a second and a half between Kraus and Lanzel. Okay, with that, gentlemen, I'm going to turn off the car info and we go back on to Tyler catching Mr. Kraus. It will be interesting to see when Big Rig and Little Rig decide to come in, because they will lose about 40 seconds, essentially letting maybe just coming behind Louis, or maybe just in front of Louis. So it will be interesting to see what happens there as we follow all the cars around the circuit. Making a quick note of the lap times between the provisional top three, who are Anthony, Kraus and Lancel. Anthony is quietly going and hitting all his markers, pumping out 40.1s and 2s with the occasional 6 here and there. As Kraus picks up penalty at Lacazia. That's going to let Tyler get a good push and aim for an overtake in the back straight. This is only a second and a half behind Mr. Kraus. As we follow Bluey, who is hitting his 41s every lap. I think he would have liked to be in the 40s, not the 41s, to be honest. Porsche does suffer from a lack of top speed, and that long straight at the back definitely doesn't help the Porsche's top speed, and of course the main straight. But the Porsche is pretty good on the tires, and it's easy to turn. It's got very good rotation. Leaders of the race, the rigs. Anthony quickly catching up Little Rig in his soft tires, as we see the difference in lap times between the two. Anthony running 40s and the occasional 41s. Little Rig running 41s. They did heat up the cap quite a bit. As we see, that's very nicely held by Anthony there. I definitely would have put it in the wall. But hey, that's the difference between the development series and the Pro Series. As Little Rig defends his line from the inside, Anthony looks to get in the inside line for seat. And Anthony goes with his nose ahead. Very good line there by Anthony. Little Rig had no other option but to let him through. Anthony had his car perfectly positioned for that turn. Seat is a very, very, very good corner to just stick your nose in a little and let the driver on the outside make adjustments, because if they touch you, they're off into the gravel. So they have to give you space, they have to let you come in. That's one corner where during the Formula Apex race I got a couple of positions and I actually overtook Snoopy. Probably the first ever time, probably the only ever time on the racetrack. As we see Little Rig in P3, Big Rig leading the way in P1, and Anthony slowly scratching away at that lead. So status report so far: the top 5, Big Rig, Anthony, Little Rig, Kraus and Tyler. I don't think it put him in the dirt there, manual. He gave Little Rig enough space. Of course, there is no other way to take that corner because of the camber and the way it turns in. As we see Kraus now getting into Little Rig. surely will get through to him at La Cazia. As Little Rig goes defensive on the inside. Good defense there by Little Rig. As the inside line for the next corner. However, J. Kraus is put the pressure on Sabadell and gets the position to P3 now. Chasing down Anthony furiously. He is a man on mission. Belgian, as we see Little Rig jump into the pits. I'm assuming that Little Rig is going to finish the race on hards. It's only a matter of time before Big Rig has to come in for his change of tires. Anthony needs to pick up his pace here if he wants to keep our Belgian at bay and take the win. As we see Anthony doing 41s. There is the fastest lap, personal fastest lap for Mr. Kraus, which was the previous lap. The one before the previous lap actually, at 39.9. The fastest lap of the race, still held by Dave GT in the AMG, as that's definitely penalty. Maybe not. I hope this circuit is not like Paul Ricard, where it does allow you to go off track completely at certain points. The track is very inconsistent in ACC. As we see Big Rig at the barriers, no. He will be kicking himself for that. That is not how he would have wanted to get into the pits. That does mean, however, that Dave GT is in with a chance to get to P4. Let's go back to the top three. Dave is 29 seconds behind them. Louis catching up with Dave, hopefully. Let's circle back to them. As Dave's got a half a second penalty, which will effectively mean that he's going to lose about 3/4 of a second to Bluey. Big Rig with a 3-second penalty for crossing the pit lines on top of his shunt with the barriers, which would have cost him a lot of time, which will cost him P7, as he's on hards and Balak is on softs, with the 3-second penalty effectively making it almost 3.5 seconds before he can defend again. It's going to be interesting to see how the back straight from Kamsa to La Cazia, I don't know how to say that. It's going to be interesting. Let's follow the Audi as he would want to go through, as he comfortably overtakes the Big Rig. Big Rig's not having a good race today, with that shunt up to the pits costing him P7. As we head into the final lap, we do see Kraus overtake Anthony. We missed that. Oh no, as Anthony kisses the grass, tries to defend that seat. The next chance for Tyler is going to be at Kamsa, beginning of the back straight. It'll be an interesting battle to see who gets P2 here. Crafting Anthony, pulling over. Anthony's got the inside line, defends it well. Over the curve, little bit of a twitch there by Tyler. Anthony is still defending, but Tyler's right behind him. He's just going to call for a photo finish, guys. As we see Anthony defend the inside line again. Beautiful racing by the two here. As we see Anthony take P2 and Tyler very close, just 0.1 second behind. So the top three at the end of 26 laps are Mr. Kraus, our Belgian, Anthony and Tyler. Dave GT gets up to P4. Beautiful recovery drive by Dave after he did end up in barriers for one of his pit stops, followed by Bluey, Little Rig, as we see Joe Van Dam cross through, closely followed by Isaac Fogg and Big Rig in P9. Okay, that is... So victory is by Jake Kraus. Let's have a quick look at the result. Fastest lap of the race is by Dave GT, 1:39.7. However, Kraus finishes with a penalty of 1 second, which is half a second too little for Anthony to claim the win. It was good clean racing and great defense there by Anthony in the last lap, with immense pressure by Tyler. As we see Big Rig also end the race with 1 second penalty, but 49 seconds behind. Don't think he will be too happy with that boxing match with the barrier. As Manuel says, he totally would have won if he was there. Of course he would, mate. Of course he would. It is a nice race, and as we finish up the race, we say congratulations to the podium getters, Jake Kraus, Anthony and Lancel, and we bid adieu to all our streamers. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed the live stream and the commentary. Hopefully I did not fixate on just one battle, although I did miss Kraus overtake Anthony for P1. Well, can't get them all, can we? Unless someone does share the replay. With that, good night, Shabba Khair, Shubh Ratri, and adios.